to you. All right, this is John Glassmeyer. I'm the chair of the Finance Committee for the Sports Authority. I'm going to call this meeting to order. It is the opinion of the chair and the staff that the items on today's agenda constitute essential business of this body, and that meeting electronically is necessary to protect the health, safety, and welfare of Tennesseans in light of the COVID-19 outbreak. Are there any objections? Hearing none, we'll move forward. All right, so we're calling to order. We've got consideration of our minutes from our prior meeting on April the 16th. They were included in the SharePoint, on the SharePoint site. Hopefully everyone had a chance to review those. Do I have a motion to approve?
I second.
Oh, excellent. Thank you. Any discussion? All right. All those in favor of approving the minutes from April 16th, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Nay. Thank you. Any nays? All right. Thank you. Minutes from April 16th are approved. Next, we'll move on to our executive director's report. So, Monica, I will turn it over to you.
Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us via WebEx this afternoon. Committee members of the authority, you have the agenda right there on the screen in front of you. The committee will be asked to consider a resolution requesting the authorization of additional funds for project management services related to the Mls Stadium. It will also receive a report from our stadium project managers on DBE participation trends for our small, minority, women, and service-disabled veteran contractors. The Sports Authority will also, let me look at this, you need to consider the revised, well, we had initially planned, as you see on item 4C, to have a review of the revised Mls Stadium documents, and those documents will need to come back to the Sports Authority. We don't have them yet. We will send those to you as we get them, but Mary Cavara is here, and so she is going to give us a brief update on Stadium.
All right, Monica,
Mary.
Anything else?
Mary.
You're going to do that now?
Well, I'm sorry. No, Mary, hold on that. Let me get it together, everyone.
Good.
I'll keep on going down the agenda. Item 5 on your agenda is a report on Nissan Stadium. The committee will receive the agreed upon procedures report from the Titans auditors on the seat user fee for 2019 season, and then also give an update on stadium projects. Any questions about the agenda? Okay, I do have a few more things that I want to note. And I said this earlier, Chair Adkins has appointed Dan Hogan to serve on the Finance Committee. Dan has regularly attended the committee meetings and has a lot of great insight, and we are thrilled to have you on this committee. Dan, thank you for agreeing to serve.
Thank you.
We also, did Glenn Farner, was he able to get on? He's trying to get on too. Glenn is our newest appointee and newest member. And so I wanted to introduce him. Hopefully he'll be able to join us soon. And Don Deering, who also was confirmed in May, was planning to join. So they may get on before the meeting is over. I think many of you know that last Friday, Bob Lackey with Metro Finance retired after 46 years of service to Metro. And I mean, clearly he's just been a wealth of knowledge, and he has served the Sports Authority and the other departments so well. And the Metro Council honored him with a resolution Tuesday night, and I sent that out to you yesterday. Hopefully you've had an opportunity to look at that. He really has been a a true public servant, and we are grateful for all that he has done. I was hoping to get him on the call today so that we could express our gratitude to him, but he called me this morning and said that they had to take his wife to the emergency room yesterday. So please just keep their family in your thoughts, and hopefully there will be another opportunity for us to thank him. And then actually what I would like to do, and I've mentioned this to a couple of you, I'd like to look at the possibility of hiring Bob as a part-time Metro retiree for a period of time to help train Melissa and to get us through this transition. You know, he's done so much for so long, and unfortunately, there's not anyone in the finance department who's able to just pick up where he left off, obviously, after 46 years. You know, when we hired Melissa, we had no clue that we were getting ready to be hit with a tornado and a pandemic, and that everyone was going to be working from home. And so I've spoken with Bob. He is open to this. I've also spoken with Talia Lomax O'Neill in finance and with legal about how we might be able to do this. Metro retirees can work up to 19 hours a week. So if the Finance Committee is agreeable, I would like to continue to look at this and then bring a plan back to you at a later date.
We don't need a motion or anything, right, Monica,
No,
at this point?
No, not at this point.
I don't have any issues. Margaret and Dan, do you have any issues?
No, I don't. I think it's a good idea.
Margaret?
Okay, can you hear me okay now?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry. I agree with John and Dan. I just want to thank you, Monica, for being so proactive in asking him about this. I hope he works the full 19 hours a week. So get in for as much as you can.
He says he spent a lot of time.
Right now, I thought the resolution was great. I mean, he's worked for every mayor that we've had in metropolitan government. It really told a lot about him. And so thank you for sharing it. And I think that he would just be such a valuable asset for as long as he would stay with us. So
Okay. Thank you. Well, we'll work on that and bring something back hopefully soon. Are there any other questions? If not, that concludes my report.
All right. Thank you, Monica. All right. As Monica said, our first order of business is consideration of a resolution authorizing and approving an increase in expenses related to the project management consultant services related to preliminary planning, design, and construction of a new soccer stadium. Monica, is there anything more you would like to say about the resolution?
Yes, if you have the executive director report handy, you'll see this is not the first or second or even the third time that this request has come before you. The first request was back in April of 2018. Then we came back again in January of the next year, and then again in August, requesting that the authority authorize funds to be expended from the Arena Revenue Fund to pay our project management expenses for soccer. So in total, the Sports Authority has authorized us to spend up to $675,000. And to date, we've spent $545,000 with another $130,000 encumbered or waiting to be invoiced and paid. So ultimately, these project management expenses will be funded by revenue bonds. But until that happens, obviously, we need a funding source. Gobble Hayes Partners and Capital Project Solutions, our project managers, have submitted revised proposals, which you've received. And so we're asking that the committee consider authorizing an additional $350,000, which would get us at least through August for GHP. And I do want to note that their contract expires with Metro August 26th. So there are a lot of conversations going on there. And then also it would get us through October for CPS. The Arena Revenue Fund has a current balance of about $3.75 million, and we will be reimbursing the fund once bonds are issued. Are there any questions?
Margaret, anything from you?
I just wondered, what independent review have we done, if anything, of all of these expenses that are being incurred? Do we just, who looks at these requests for, it's quite a bit of fees. So who reviews them and approves them before it comes to us?
I do.
Okay. So can you kind of tell us through that process you've gone through so that, we just kind of know that someone's overseeing these requests and what you do?
Yes, and now that Melissa is on board, our finance manager, there have been a lot of discussions, and she and Alicia spent quite a bit of time also working with the staff at GHP, and we asked them, they provide twice weekly reports. There's a lot of documentation that they provide to us. The rates are the rates from the Metro contract, because if you remember, this is a Metro General Services contract that the Sports Authority has piggybacked off of. So we did not set those rates. Those rates were the rates that they have under the Metro contract. And then as they submit the invoices and the details, and it is done by hour, and it tells, which of their team members who's working, what his position is, what the hourly rate is, and then the number of hours that they've spent. And so we review those. There have been times where we've needed additional information, where we've had questions, and we go back, and it's a continual conversation.
So did they do any services that were outside the scope of their contract?
Outside.
Architect included some things in their application that they did in addition to what they initially thought they might be asked to do. So maybe the better way to say it is if they've taken on additional responsibilities like the architect mentioned in their application.
I don't think that they've taken on necessarily additional responsibilities. This is I would say that in general, the scope of this project is large. And so we hired them to be our project managers. They already had an agreement. We're working with the fairgrounds is on their expo buildings, and, work that was done on fairgrounds was charged to the fairgrounds. But they really, in many ways, have become more of a site coordinator. And so we do have to look at the fees and the hourly rates and make sure that what the Sports Authority is paying for is for work that was done for the Sports Authority.
So I assume that you're recommending then, because of your review of this application, that we approve this fee. Is that correct?
Yes, my recommendation is that the Finance Committee authorize these additional expenses for this service. We do have, the cash on hand in the Arena Revenue Fund. We will be reimbursing the fund once bonds are issued. But there's a lot of work to be done, and they have spent a lot of time doing it.
So the two other things I want to ask about. So remind me again when we thought the bonds would be issued, and then tell me what we think now is the time frame for when bonds will be issued.
I think initially the hope was to issue bonds in February of 2019. And Mary Kavara, please correct me if you have another date. In terms of when they will actually be issued, I don't know the date. I don't know the date.
This is Mary Kavara, and Margaret, you are correct. We were on a path to have the bonds issued in February of 2019, and then due to additional litigation that was filed and the One case was subsequently removed, or they pulled it back. I'm sorry, I don't know the legal term for that. And at this point, the other litigation is now scheduled. The remaining points that came back that were remanded from the appeals court, that's scheduled for early August of 2020, and expecting to hopefully get a ruling shortly after that. The plan would be to also begin to prepare for the issuance of those bonds as soon as possible. We know that one of the items needed to be the completion of the Metro budget, which just occurred this week. So I would imagine that during July and August, we'll be working with Metro and all the other applicable folks to begin for the bond process.
That is very helpful. It's good to see you, Mary. Thank you for being here today. You know, it's I guess a good thing that there's this arena fund so that we can keep people working on this project. But when I read the resolution, I wanted to make one change to the resolution. I don't know if Margaret Darby's on the phone, but as soon Margaret drafted this, right?
Yeah, I'm on the call.
Yeah, I just, yes, Margaret. I am more comfortable not saying that it's anticipated that the bonds would reimburse the arena fund. I would rather it just say that the bonds will reimburse the arena fund for these expenditures. Is there any problem with that?
No, I think that we've used this language in all the other, I think we've had 3 iterations thus far, April, January, and August. And so this was just the same resolution that we've been using all along, except with the additional information added.
Yeah, I think I guess probably it just jumped out at me once we get up to this $1 million figure and the time period that has elapsed and how much money now we are fronting to keep the project going until the bonds are. So as long as that's not a problem, I didn't think it would be. I'd like to change to make sure that there's no anticipation they will be reimbursed from the bond funds.
I'll make that change in the resolution before the meeting.
Yeah, thank you.
Or the full board meeting.
Okay, thank you. I don't have any other questions.
All right, Dan, anything from you, sir? Dan, are you on mute?
Question? No. I think Margaret adequately covered what I was curious about, which is what is the revised expectation of reimbursement? And if we're going to be using the seat user fund, and we have some funds there, I guess I would like to understand in the broader discussion when we as a group or as a board are going to have a discussion about what anticipated revenues are going forward, considering the reduction in events and COVID and all of that. And this may not be the right time. I just want to put it out there for consideration at the appropriate time that Monica decides. But I would very much like to have that discussion.
Discussion, and we will add that to an upcoming, maybe the next agenda.
And
Thank you.
Monica, I had one question, and I think Mr. Gobble might be on. Are we burning about what we expected to so far? As you know, we had an initial amount of money for the total project for them. Are we about even where we think we would have been, no matter where this funding source is coming from, but just and the money they've spent? Are we burning hot? Are we burning under? Where are we sort of overall?
Well, I'm not sure I follow the question there.
So I don't know how much money you originally said you were going to spend on this project. Say it's $2 million. We've burned whatever amount we've burned so far, dollars. Are we burning more than you expected at this point, less than you expect at this point, or about where we should be at this point?
Well, we're about where we should be. We've had a year's delay in the original construction schedule, but on the whole, we're still tracking fairly close to where our original thoughts were. It's just that we'd hope that the bond sale would have reverted this back to a different funding source.
Right.
I do want to respond to one thing that was brought up. Everything that we've charged to this project has been related to the stadium in form, but as Ms. Faulknerson said, it's a very complicated project and a lot of areas around the edges of it that do affect the stadium, but have to take time to resolve. Does that answer your question, Mr. Chair?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Anything else for the resolution? Monica, anything else you want to add at this point?
No, I don't have anything else. Thank you for considering.
You bet.
Mr.
Okay,
Chair,
yes.
is it time for a motion on the resolution?
That's what I was just about ready to say. So I was going to say, do we have a motion to approve the resolution?
I so move as amended.
I second.
All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right. The resolution passes for recommendation to the full board. All right. Next up. So, Monica, do we have someone from DBE to speak about their participation?
Yes, Kellen DeCourcy with ICON and Jim Pashofsky with Capital Project Solutions are on the line. They may have somebody else, but they will give the DBE participation update.
Hi, thank you, Monica. I'll take that. Nice to meet everyone here today. This is Kellen DeCourcy with CA Icon, and we're serving as the program manager for the Stadium Co. and the team on the project. I'm not sure if, Monica, we have the PowerPoint slide that, or I can share that.
You should have it. I think maybe Kevin is putting it on the screen.
Okay.
Yes. So which one is it here?
I think there's a PowerPoint tab on to the right there.
Right here.
Yes, thank you. Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Appreciate that. Again, we appreciate the opportunity today to present the Project DBE participation updates for the Nashville MLS Soccer Stadium. Just as a friendly reminder for everyone here on the overall Project DBE goals that were included in our design and construction agreements, we have with the architects agreement, which is with Populous and their consultants, we had a 20% participation goal. And then also for the construction managers agreement and contract, which is Mortensen Messer, we had a 30% participation goal. And I am pleased to state that we are fully committed from the top down, from the team on to our project partners, that we're not just meeting these goals, we are really pushing to exceed these goals. So with that, I wanted to give everyone an update on where we currently stand on the project. With respect to Populous's contract and agreement, we currently have a 21.3% participation from them, and they are complete with the design work phase of the project. So we are moving on to the last phase of the project with them, which is construction administration. There's an outdated note at the bottom here that percentage was pending confirmation from BAO, which we actually received after this slide was created. So we do have approval on their 21.3% participation, which is above the 20%. Then taking us into the construction management side of things, Mortensen, along with their partners, their local partners, Messer and Pinnacle Construction, have been doing a great job of communicating the objectives of exceeding our goals. We're currently buying out the 100% CD documents with all of the various subcontract trades. Right now, we only have the ability to report that 2 trades to date have been awarded, which is the earthwork and site utilities, which will be the first to start on the project. But we are also pleased to note that that is above the 30%, and that is currently at 32.1% DBE participation. In about a month's time, we will have a much clearer picture on where we are, but we are trending in the right direction from what we're seeing in the market. That's kind of where we are.
All right. Thanks very much. Monica, anything else we need to discuss with this? Any questions? Sorry.
I don't know if any of the committee members have questions, but I will say that as we've walked through this process and in conversations that I have with people all the time, continue to reiterate the, the sports authority's commitment to DBE participation. And it's something that that this board has expressed and articulated its commitment to time and time again, and I really appreciate that. I know the team is also committed to that, and so we just want to make sure that we finish strong. Don't know if there are any questions for the committee, from the committee.
Margaret, anything from you?
No, I'm just glad to see that this early on in the project that we look like we're exceeding goals, and I appreciate this update and hope we'll get it at every finance committee meeting. I think we want to stay on top of this and make sure making sure we meet our commitments.
Thank you, Margaret. Dan, anything from you?
No, nothing from me. I appreciate the update. Thank you.
All right. Thanks again for the update from DBE. All right. Next up, so we don't have our revised MLS documents. Is there anything else we want to present around that?
Well, Mary Kavar is going to give us an update.
All right, Mary, thank you.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, Monica. So I thought before I went into an update on some of the stadium activities and documents, I'd give you just a real brief update on the soccer team. And so since the last Sports Authority board meeting, Major League Soccer, along with many of the other professional sports, have been working on how to restart their programs. Last week, MLS announced their return to play program. And really the primary objective is the safety of our fans, our players, our staff. So under our program, all the teams will travel to a central site in Orlando, and they will remain there for the duration of this portion of the season. They will play a tournament-style schedule in front of no fans. This will begin on July 8th with each team playing a minimum of 3 matches. The league has worked hard to develop ways to digitally enhance these matches so that they'll be interesting to those that are watching on TV. They will also be televised on national TV, so we'll have a chance to see those. And there's a very rigorous protocol for all the players and staff to remain at the site. It's basically think about having them under a bubble, and it's really for safety purposes. And so a lot of thought and effort and detail has gone into this. And then at the end of the phase, the teams will return to their local markets to resume the season. The league has been focused on this first phase in Orlando, and so they have not yet announced the details for the remainder of the season, but we expect to have those shortly. Then our full team was able to resume practicing at their temporary training site at Curry Ingram this week. And what I understand from the players, they're looking forward to heading to Orlando soon and actually getting to play real matches. So now turning to the MLS Stadium. Demolition has been progressing very nicely. It's expected to be wrapped up by I think close to the end of next week, but definitely by June 30th. As Kellen mentioned, all the bid packages have now been released. Construction is scheduled to start in early July when they'll first be removing some of the brush and other matters, and then the earthwork starting shortly after that. A substantial completion remains targeted for mid-May of 2022. And I'd give the same caveat I did last month, that similar to any construction project, schedules may change as the work progresses. I'm very pleased to report that our budgeted cost estimate remains at $335 million. And roughly about $20 million has been spent to date on construction of the stadium, funded by the team. In response to some questions that were asked earlier, all of the detailed invoices from the construction manager and its related some subcontractors and other parties are reviewed in detail by CAA ICON, by GHP, by CPS, and then each pay application is signed off by Monica, by myself, by GHP and CPS before we, the team, pay them. And I can assure you that since we're responsible for basically 100% of the cost and any overruns, we are reviewing these very closely and really have not had any issues to date. We're very excited about getting to this part of the project. It seems like a long time that we've been talking about the stadium, and we'll continue to provide regular updates as it progresses. And the last item that I'll cover is that, as Monica mentioned, the revised stadium documents are not yet ready from Metro Legal. And as many of you know, the original documents were approved by the Sports Authority and Metro Council back in 2018, which almost seems like a lifetime ago. But this was before the stadium design was really completed. It was actually in the early stages at that point. In February of 2020, the team agreed to a term sheet with the mayor's office. And one of the most significant changes related to the stadium lease. And this is between Walsh Management and the Sports Authority. And the significant change is really to Metro's benefit, and it's the removal of Metro's backstop. And what this was this was a specific provision in the lease that related to rent payments that were made during the first 10 years of the lease. And the initial terms specified that there would be declining amounts that Metro would provide to cover any shortfall in ticket taxes or the sales tax redirect amounts. If we never sold a ticket or never had any sales tax redirect, the maximum contingent liability for Metro would have been $35 million. This part has been completely removed. There's other minor points that have been refined just due to the passage of time. And we've now been able to complete all of the exhibits. So we are pushing very hard and optimistic that we should have the complete documents ready for you to review soon. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Mary. Monica, anything to add?
No, Mary, thank you for the update.
Margaret, Bam, any questions from you?
I don't have any questions, but Mary, that was a great presentation. You're always so to the point, direct, transparent, and informative, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
And Dan, any questions from you or comments?
No, I actually would like to reiterate Mark's comment that was very comprehensive. I appreciate the effort.
All right. Thanks, everyone. All right, Monica, I guess we'll move on to the Nissan Stadium to items here. Presentation of agreed upon procedures. The seat you speak at Nissan, is that Ernst & Young? Someone from Ernst & Young going to present that?
Jane Kaufman will start and introduce her auditors.
All right. Please go ahead.
Hello, everyone. This is Janine. Hi, this is Janine Kaufman, CFO with the Tennessee Titans. And we have with us today Chad and Shannon. Chad is the partner on our job, and he is with Ernst & Young. And y'all will remember Chad's been here the last 2 years to present the user fee report as well. And so, Chad, I'm going to turn it over to you. I see you're on the call, so hopefully you can join in.
Yep, sorry. Hey, thanks, Janine, and good afternoon. I was going to present the findings from our agreed upon procedures report, which I believe you have been provided and is being shown on the screen below. But we were engaged to perform agreed upon procedures related to the club's summary of user fee payable for the 2019 playing season. This schedule is on Appendix B, or page 4 of the report. These procedures were consistent with those we've been asked to perform and report on in prior years and are summarized on pages 2 and 3. I'll give a brief summary for you, but we took the schedule and compared the total tickets distributed for each game to the box office statements, compared the complimentary seats for each game to box office statements, while also ensuring that total complimentary seats for each game did not exceed 3,250, which is the limit under the agreement, and recomputed the user fee schedule for accuracy, for mathematical accuracy, including recalculating the total payable by multiplying the total seats by the user fee of $3. We've agreed the payable to both the company's accounting, general ledger, and cash disbursement records, and obtained representations from the club CEO and CFO certifying to the completeness and accuracy of the schedule. Overall, as you can see on the screen, the club owed Metro a total of $1.8 million and some change, which has been paid in full. So that concludes my remarks and summary of our procedures, but happy to take any questions as you need.
Thanks very much. Margaret, any questions from you?
No, but this probably is just more of a comment. I appreciate the Titans doing this audit every year. It's not required by any document to do so, but it was started a few years ago, and I think it's very helpful to have it. And Janine, I just hope that you all continue to do this each year because I think it is very helpful. Thank you for doing it.
Thanks, Margaret. Dan, anything from you?
Yeah, I did have a question, but I think Janine was trying to answer. I don't know if she wants to jump in and unmute herself. No? Okay. I actually did have a question, and it may be a rather ignorant one, so please forgive me. But are these tickets determined to be complimentary seats simply at the discretion of the team, or does the mayor's office have any discretion for incentive use of these tickets? I'm just curious.
So thank you so much. This is Janine again for your question. So the comp tickets are totally at the discretion of the team.
Okay.
But Dan,
if you're asking about the permitted column there that says permitted or actual complimentary seats, that is by law. So it is actually written by law that the max that we can do is 3,250. So we use total tickets distributed, and then what is subtracted there is either the max, which is 3,250, or actual comps.
Okay.
Did that make sense?
That does make sense. It seems logical that the city would have a pool of access to those to distribute, but like I said, I'm new to this.
No, it's a good question. Whether it's Titans or whether it's a concert promoter, for example, they control their own box office, and so they control how many tickets they sell, how many tickets they comp, that type of thing. So we have a lot of rules and regulations the NFL does around comp tickets and how many comp tickets we actually can issue. So it's more of a league policy than it is like a Metro policy. But how the ticket tax or user fee is actually collected and remitted is actually written. It's by law.
I was really more curious because it seems like something that would be very appealing for the Metro ECD office to have access to, and you know they tour companies they're trying to woo here. It just makes sense that would be a resource.
That's a good question.
Thanks, Dan. Thanks, Janine. Monica, anything you'd like to add?
No, Janine, thank you as usual, and to the Titans for doing this. It's helpful, and it is something that you don't have to do, but we appreciate it.
Okay.
All right. Thanks very much. So our last item is the stadium projects update. Janine, I'm assuming you or someone there is leading that presentation.
Yeah, I was going to try and share my screen, but if you've got it up there, Kevin, that's fine too.
Is this what you need right here?
Yeah, that's fine, Kevin. I'm not going to talk about it all, but that's totally good. So, okay. All right. Well, I'm going to kind of go through some of this quickly because there's not a lot of changes on the... Are you guys hearing that? Okay, it stopped. Okay. Thanks. If you want to flip to the next slide. So this is our ticket tax summary. Again, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. This is pretty much the exact same information. We've had a little bit of increase in interest since our April meeting. If you'll keep going. Yep, and keep going. So I guess what I'll do, since Kevin's in charge of my slides here, is does anyone have any questions on the ticket tax and user fee or the CapEx fund? And if not, I would like to kind of get into the bulk of my presentation, which is kind of at the bottom. So I'm going to pause just to see if anyone does have any questions on the ticket tax fund or the CapEx fund. As a reminder, those funds are kept and held at Metro.
And if it's easier, I think that you prefer to share your screen, I think that's fine.
It's okay. I mean, we can.
And I can pass that to you right now.
It doesn't matter. Okay, well, if there's no questions, Kevin, if you want to scooch down a little bit on the presentation there.
Oh, okay, I'm finally on the list here. I was going to pass you the screen.
You're going to pass it to me? Well, that's great. I'll take it.
Yep.
It will not pass to me, so I don't know what that's going on. So in the spirit of going, let's just scroll on down, Kevin, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Yep, keep going, keep going. You're going to go down several slides deep. Keep going. Keep going. Okay, well, go back up one, please. Thanks so much. So I just want to point out where our current receivable is as well. We're at about $18.4 million. So again, just wanted to point that out. And Kevin, if you'll keep going. Thank you, and keep going. You're going to go down a few more deep. And it's going to be one with kind of a yellow at the top, and it says anticipated. So you're almost there. Sorry, y'all.
No worries. We'll get there.
All right, there it is. Perfect. And I don't know if you can blow that up a little bit, specifically the left-hand side, so that we can kind of walk through these projects. So just to give the group kind of a little information about how we developed this and what this actually represents. So this actually represents projects that we are working on to be completed before the beginning of the 2020 season for us. And so we have not quite finished our full analysis of projects that will either be done during the season or at the end of the 2020 season. So this is kind of a short list, if you will, of items that we are working on and trying to get implemented in advance of the 2020 season. So the first item is the EVS IP director. Basically, and you can read the comments, it's no longer supported, and that's a piece of equipment that's in the control room. The water infiltration work. So if you guys will remember, we hired SKA to come in and do design work, and they started that design work kind of end of last year into 2020, into the beginning of 2020. They have completed their report, and I have submitted that report to the Sports Authority. We are in the process of plowing through the report that SKA did and working on bids to get that work done. We are probably going to try and do the work in phases because there's a lot of additional work that needs to be done in regards to the water infiltration. And just kind of for those members who are relatively new, we did some of the water infiltration work and the concrete repair work. And we did a lot of that when we did the seat replacement in 2015. but we basically just didn't have the funds to finish the project. And so that is what this project is kind of trying to finish up some of that concrete repair, water infiltration work around the stadium. The next item is kind of a Quad A. It's a circuit breaker project. And again, for those of y'all who are new, we actually replaced a large circuit breaker in Quad A. The circuit breaker that we replaced in the fall, it was in October, was for the electricity that actually comes into the building. And then after we got that circuit breaker fixed, there was another circuit breaker within that Quad A that actually distributes the power once it's inside the building to certain areas in Quad A, and that circuit breaker has failed. So that's kind of a continuation, if you will, of the original circuit breaker project from October of 19. There's some work that needs to be done on the distributed sound system. That system was put in 2012, so it's about 8 years old. And so in order to try and extend the useful life of that system, there is some major repair work that has to be done on that. We are currently working on quotes and using some of our internal folks and an outside contractor to develop that quote. We have purchased new cleaning equipment, and the new cleaning equipment, it was needed to be done. Our cleaning equipment was original to the building. So again, 20 some odd years old. And then the last item is we are looking at doing something with our condensers for our walk-in refrigerators for our concessionaires. Those condensers, again, are original to the building. And so by replacing the condenser, we hope to extend the useful life of those refrigeration systems as well. The one item, if you can flip back up, if you don't mind, Kevin, to the previous page. Go back down just a little bit. Is at the bottom of this page, the COVID-19 projects. So the COVID-19 projects are on the current list because we have actually started that process already. We notified the Sports Authority in May. We actually had a call, Bob Flynn and myself and Monica, to talk about these projects. And this is basically to get the stadium kind of COVID-19 fan-facing ready. And it's basically doing touchless faucets, water fountains, and touchless toilet flushers throughout the stadium. And that is our current estimate, is about that $1.1 million. Okay, with that, I'm going to pause to see if there's any questions about any of those projects that we have added to the CapEx communication tool. And Bob Flynn is on the line as well to answer any questions as well.
Thanks, Janine. Margaret Bam, anything from you?
No questions.
Dan, anything from you, sir?
Just curious, is the league giving individual teams guidance as to COVID-19 modifications?
So Dan, that's an excellent question. And yes, we have gotten a lot of guidance from the league. We have also worked with other clubs around the league. We've reached out to other sports organizations as well. And then we actually have a task force to kind of work through fan-facing items at the stadium. Our primary goal is always the safety and security of our fans.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Dan. Monica, anything from you?
No, nothing from me.
Janine, did you have some more you'd like to present?
Really, that really concludes my report.
So Dan, Dan and John, can we go back to Dan's question early on about what does this pandemic, the effect it has on the seat tax? And Janine, if you don't mind addressing that.
Sure, absolutely. And actually, Kevin, do you mind kind of scrolling back up a little bit in my presentation? I'm sorry, Kevin. It's probably, I think it's like slide number, it might be like slide number 7. that's it. So, Margaret, that's a great question, and I would love to have all the answers for you, but I don't. So let me tell you what we are doing is we are continuing to make estimated payments like we always have for the ticket tax for Titans events. And so we just actually made the 5th installment payment actually today to Metro. And as we obtain more information, then we'll work through that at that time. But as we are today, we are still planning to play all of our games, and we are planning to play with fans. So if something were to change, then we would probably need to, we'll take a look at that. But as we stand today, we are continuing to make the installment payments.
Right. I think that's a good approach, and I appreciate you all doing that. And I know no one has a crystal ball about how this will work. So appreciate you doing what we typically do, and then regroup if you need to.
Yeah. And then, of course, for, events that were scheduled that have been canceled, for those refunds, for example, like a CMA that was canceled but is rolling forward to 2020. So any refunds that are requested, those are being, deducted from what we're paying in.
Yeah.
So that type of thing. And then for events that are, honestly, most of our events have been, quote, postponed. So to 2021. So our hope is that those refunds will settle out, and then some of the seat user fee will flow through. Prior to Bob Lackey's retirement, him and I did get on a call and kind of walk through an estimate of what that would be like. So he does kind of have that information.
Great. Thank you.
Thanks, Janine. Janine, anything else from you or anyone else from the Titans?
I think I'm good. So I do want to welcome Burt Nyhill, who is our new president and CEO. I would like to recognize him. So Burt, thanks for being on the call. And so we're really excited about Burt, and we'll certainly miss Steve. And I know you guys will miss seeing Steve. But I do want to recognize Burt and congratulate him.
Thanks, Janine.
Burke, I'd also like to welcome you aboard, although you've been attending our meetings for quite some time, so there'll be nothing new here for you. But it's really great to see you in this position, that you've assumed this position. And, when I first started on the Sports Authority, Steve Underwood was the person, who we heard a lot from. Then he left, and then he just had to come back, So it was good to see him return. So I don't know if he'll show up for any meeting or not, just to say hello, but I wish you would give him our warm well wishes for his retirement and how much we appreciate what he's given to our city and how helpful he was to the Sports Authority. He really did a great job. So I hope we pass
I appreciate you saying that, Margaret. We'll pass it along to Steve. Okay. He's still a part of our family. He's enjoying the fruits of retirement with his family down in Houston. Well deserved, obviously. But he is staying on board with us as a senior counselor, and I talk to him several times a week. So I will definitely pass along your regards.
Has he left Germantown yet?
He has left Germantown. But he will be back. So long as Brown's is serving cheeseburgers, Steve will find the reason to come back to Nashville, I'm sure.
That's great. Well, good to have you aboard.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thanks very much. I believe that's everything on our agenda. Monica, anything else before we close?
No, thank you, everyone. Thank you to the members of the Finance Committee. And again, just a great turnout by the board. And I really appreciate all of the board members who chose to hop on, and we really appreciate your time, as well as all of our partners and everyone here. I do want to remind everyone that we will meet again next Thursday, the 25th at 9:30 for the full Sports Authority meeting, and we will be in touch, and that agenda and the supporting materials, you should receive those tomorrow. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Margaret and Dan, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Margaret.
Second.
Thank you very much. All right. Thank you. We adjourn for the day. Thank you, everyone, for participating. Talk
Thank
to you
you,
next
John.
week.
Everybody be safe.
Thank you.
Monica.
Good job, guys.
This has been a service of the Metro Nashville Network. If you would like to see this presentation again, or for more information about this and other programs, visit nashville.org.